All right, we're here with star running back Carson Bender. What's up, brother?
Not much. I'm excited.
People probably wondering, Dustin wore with a Fordell football helmet. It's not mine, it's his.
Yep.
No, we're glad to have you, man. Man, I want to ask you some questions. This guy, if you're not familiar with who he is, let me just give you some stats. He started as a freshman on the state championship football team, Fordell Sentinels.
Yep.
Listen to these stats. He was second team all-area running back, almost 600 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. So over 800 yards,
Right.
and 8 touchdowns.
Yep.
As a freshman.
As freshman. That's right.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. I can't even get over that. So my first question is like, dude, what is the mentality to be able to do that?
Right. So the way it is for me is, it's always been a dream for me because I've always been like had a gift, right? And I've always been blessed with that, and I've known I've been blessed. So coming up through like middle school ball and all that, it was kind of in the back of my head that I had the opportunity to play as a freshman. So my mentality,
you always had that. Like,
yeah,
that's like my goal. Yeah, wow.
That's my goal for it. So the way it was is I always had people in my ear, like that, like I was held to that standard. So my mentality is like,
Who would hold you to that standard? That seems like an outrageous standard.
It's not so much other people, but that was like, I knew I could do it. And
did you ever hear in your head like people saying like, "There's no way he can do it"? Like even something like I know for me, like I'm a big like I want to prove people wrong.
Right.
So it's like even if people didn't say it in your head, like you heard it, you're like, they said I can't do it. They said
yeah. It's just that kind of gives you the motivation if you have that thought that people are kind of doubting on you. But I just kind of always held myself to that standard of I know I'm able to do this, and like why not take the opportunity? Like why not? Why would you not work for this?
Yeah,
would you not take it? So
dude, that's crazy. I go back to my 9th grade year, and my brother was a senior.
Yeah,
and I was a water boy.
Yeah.
I was a water boy for the varsity team, and they were like just giants. And I was just hopeful. Like the thing back when I played, which is years ago now, is sophomore. If you start as a sophomore, you're like legit.
Right.
But a freshman is just like next level.
No,
it's unheard of. And then to not just be on the team, but to like play and contribute.
Yeah. No, it was definitely the same way. Like I go from middle school ball straight into playing.
Yeah, Patriots.
18-year-old kids. Like these kids are huge. Man. But after first few weeks, like you start hitting, you kind of get in the groove. Like you realize, like I can hang with these guys.
Yeah.
So I'm not like this little kid anymore. Like I gotta man up. I gotta hold myself to the same standard as them. I gotta do my thing. So
that's amazing. And dude, it's just a mindset like that. That is a gift in and of itself. Not just the ability to play and perform, but to have that mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, how's this season going? Like you're a sophomore, you guys just had your first game.
Yeah.
How did that go? You guys dominated.
So final score was 42-7. This year I'll be.
Did you do all right?
Yeah. I had 58-yard receiving touchdown. That was 3rd play of the game. So we scored pretty quick.
Nice.
Went on defense. Our first team defense shut them out for, I want to say 3 quarters straight. They scored in the 4th against our second team defense. But I'm starting this year. I'll be starting both ways. I'll be starting middle backer and then halfback again.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
Yep.
So, what's your favorite? What do you prefer?
So, a while back, it was always linebacker growing up. I love to hit people. I love to fly around and make plays. But last year I didn't play defense. I was all offense. So that was where all my focus was. But I think it's going to start to change again now that I'm playing defense.
Yeah, be defense.
I got 3 years of playing both ways, and this year I'm already like I'm calling the defense. I'm kind of the head, like I'm a middle backer. That's what I do. Dude. So I think things are going to start to change again. I can feel a spark again already. Yeah. Week 1.
Wow. So I don't want to jump too far ahead because you're just a sophomore, and I want you to enjoy the journey. But what like next level? Where do you want to play? What's the next goal for Carson?
So right now, obviously, like thinking ahead, like offers. I want to play D1.
Yeah.
But right now, my mentality is I want to get my school paid for. I want to be able to, you know, I don't want to be in debt. If sports take me to that level, that's what I want. You know, obviously me farther than that and beyond. Like, I'm going to take advantage of that. But right now, it's just I want to get a good career. I want to get a good career going. I want to get my major. I want to get my school paid for. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Oh, dude, that's wise.
Yeah,
that's really good. And I think that's telling. Like, just for those listening, like the more, like I'm with you and around you, I see like you're wise beyond your years. You're a young person, but and the reason why I wanted to sit down with you was, like the accolades are amazing and everything that you're doing on the field is amazing. But when we were at church and we had the Fellowship of Christian Athletes event and you were speaking on the stage, I was like, that is an impressive young man, and I want to hear more about him.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Seriously. So, like, okay, we talked the big picture, and you're one to reach goals. Like, I can already tell.
Right.
It's like-minded. We're like like-minded. It's like, don't tell me I can't do it because I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
What is your goal? So you got that big picture, though, but, like, how do you implement it today? Like, do you have, like, a tomorrow goal, or what's your discipline like?
So the way I look at it is you always have to be getting better. So like it's 1% every day. You know, if it's more than that, it's more than that, but it's at least 1% every single day.
Yeah.
So whether it's film study, like mental reps, or in the weight room at practice, like you're always getting 1% better. You're never staying level. You're never okay with where you're at.
Yeah.
So
is that something your coaches preach to you too?
Mostly my dad. My dad, he's kind of like my biggest supporter. He's always pushing me to be my best. So my dad's always preached that to me, like never be okay with where you're at. Like you can always get better. Like you're never the best.
Yeah.
So
we can shout out to Jeremy, right?
Jeremy, that's right.
Yeah. So that's good. Awesome, man. All right. So another thing, I'll circle back to one thing I mentioned. As a 9th grader, I was the water boy for my brother's team at Allegheny. So crosstown rival. I was the water boy. Yeah, it's kind of humbling to say that when you're like performing on varsity and I was the water boy. But I think I always say this, like the second kid has like an advantage, right? Like you're the second boy. You had a brother that went before you that was a great example, great leader. Shout out to Lance. I'm doing shout outs now. Shout out to Lance. But like I think about for me how important it was for me growing up to have that person that I was kind of in his shadow, but I wanted to prove people that I was as good as him and that I could do what he did. But also just not only just the athletics, but like a great example and leader. I think of Lance as the epitome of that.
No, yeah.
How important do you think it was for you growing up? Like, do you even think you would have that mindset of like, I can do this as a 9th grader. I can compete at this level without your older brother?
I mean, so the way Lance plays in my life is not just through my faith. Like Lance, he did it all before me. He went through the 4-year football process, obviously, and like he would come home, talk about practice and how intense everything is.
It's rigorous, right?
Yeah. Things are intense. So just hearing about it though, like that excited me. Yeah. Like that made me want to be up there. Like I couldn't wait to get the 4-year football. Like that's just kind of what what you're preached around here. Like football is
great culture, right?
Yeah. So Lance, I mean, he went through it all before me. He told me what to expect, like things I needed to do. I think that's what helped me a lot because I knew what I needed to do to be at that level to be able to play as a freshman.
Yeah.
So Lance kind of guided me throughout it, and along that, I have someone to look up to through my faith because Lance does some amazing things. Like I see the Lord move in many ways, but the way that the Lord moves through my brother is crazy.
That's awesome.
Like he does so many things, and it's just so cool to watch. I mean, like he's awesome to watch. And yeah.
And then that's great.
Yeah.
How do you think like moving forward in your life, like you can balance it all? Like I know something that maybe you might not be thinking about right now as a sophomore, but like your drive is insane and that's great. But how do you harness that, steward that, compartmentalize it even at times so you don't like run yourself into the ground in a way? Like how is your life balanced? Like do you try to balance your life or?
So the way I see it is like you have to have your priorities, right? So obviously like God is always first, and I think if you prioritize him, then everything kind of works out through him. He knows what you need, and he knows like how to work through you. So you prioritize him, everything's kind of falls into place. And I think that's kind of how my life has gone so far.
Yeah.
He's kind of put all the pieces together. I've put my faith in him, and he's put me where I need to be at all times.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, man, what a role model you are.
Right.
Dude, like, so what does that look like on a daily basis? Like, let's just get into like talking about your faith and stuff. Like, how does that put everything in order for you? What does that look like, prioritizing God, like, number one?
Yeah, so the way I kind of level things out is, you know, he's obviously like who I look for guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I'm preparing for my week or like, you know, I wake up, first thing I do is always pray. Like, I just know that I'm in his hands, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes I always look the next day. Like, I'm never looking like too far ahead. I don't always want to plan too far ahead, right? But
it's hard though. It's hard to enjoy the journey when you got big dreams and big goals and all that.
Right. I just kind of, I trust him the way, like, that's just kind of what I do is I kind of know that everything's just going to fall into place. And I don't worry too much. I don't get stressed out. I don't let anxiety take hold of me. But so let's see, I wake up, get on the bus, go to school. I usually have classes till about 12:30 and then till 5:30, 6 o'clock. The rest of my day is football. So I get home, I'm tired. You know, sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know if I have time to do this. I don't have time for homework, but I always have time for God. And whether it means putting the phone down or putting the video games down, like, you make time for him and you have to prioritize him. So that's kind of how my day to day goes. You just have to choose what you want, and like mainly God is what you want. So.
Yeah. No, I think of when you said that, like, I wake up and pray. It's like the Jesus prayer where he says, "Give us today our daily bread."
Yeah.
Like, not tomorrow, not 5 years from now. He told us to ask, give us today what we need, our sustenance for today, our fulfillment, our provision, everything that we need for today.
Yeah.
But dude, that's really great. And I think, man, as you do that in the course of your life, no matter what happens, it's like that in Matthew 7 where he talks about the wise man built his house on the rock.
Yeah.
That no matter what comes, no matter if a unforeseen injury comes or a setback comes, whatever it might be, dude, you are unshakable with your foundation on the rock. That's really good.
Yep.
What does it look like at Fort Hill, like, with the Lord? Like, talk about FCA, talk about your ministry on campus a little bit.
So I'm not going to lie, like, public school, there's not a lot of opportunity for, like, the Lord in your ministry. So FCA is, like, my main thing. We meet every Thursday morning. Right now, we just got started, new school year, so we're meeting with the leaders and everything right now, kind of getting our setup for the year going. But I really try to, like, express that to people. Like, I invite people all the time. I'm trying to get my friends there. My friends there, they invite their friends. Like, it's like a tree, really. Like, just everything branches off.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of opportunity in public school, and the way I see it now is FCA is the start. And so when you get things going with that, it can only grow. So if I have the opportunity to lead those lessons and I'm the one giving the ministry and people can feed off of me, like, that's huge to me.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't even think you realize the platform that you have too. I mean, you do to some extent, but from an outside perspective looking in, it's like, probably whatever you say, dude, people will do. I mean, you're calling the plays on defense. Like, people will do what you're saying. No, that's great. And you just work with what you got. I mean, that's what you've been doing your whole career, is like, the opportunity set before me, I will do it.
Take it.
And I will do more than asked of me. So that's the type of person you are, and I applaud that. Yeah, I mean, anything else that we might be missing? I know you got the season coming up. I mean, you had your first game.
Yep.
You got a big test this
Dunbar this week.
Dunbar Poets.
Yep.
That's who I lost to in the state championship way back. But are y'all ready for that?
So, yeah, we've been game planning since season ended last year. Second they got on our schedule. That's been the star on our schedule.
Let's go. Is that here?
No, it'll be at Morgan State.
Okay.
It'll be a 5 o'clock game. So it's supposed to be packed. There's going to be Ravens players there like Zay Flowers. I heard rumors about Lamar. Who knows?
Wow.
But there's going to be some big faces there. So they'll come. They'll talk to us pregame in the locker room and everything. They'll be there for the coin toss. They're going to have smoke and everything when we come out.
Wow.
It's going to be
Dude, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So you're ready to go?
Yeah, we've been game planning and watching tons of film. I mean, it's gonna be a really fun game. Dunbar is really the only team that's kind of had their way with Fort Hill recently in the past 2 decades. I mean, they're the only team in the state of Maryland, I think, that has more state championships than us.
Yeah.
So.
And the haters are gonna hate and say.
Exactly.
So this is your time, right?
We got flip.
Man, that's what's up.
So.
I love that. So yeah, don't give away any strategy, but you want to call any Fort Hill fans to come out to the game? Is there a bus or something? Or
I don't know if that's fan bus, but we'll see.
Carson Bender fan bus.
Yep.
So that's great, man.
Yep, it's gonna be fun.
Sweet. So yeah, I mean, dude, we wish you the best. Thanks for taking time to talk to us.
Yep, this is great.
Yeah, awesome. Maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right.
Yep.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to our conversation. I know I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. If you would you share it? If you want to follow and support Carson, we're going to put his username right here to his socials that you can go and follow his updates of his season to come. I'm going to sit down with a few athletes here coming in the weeks to come. So make sure you click subscribe and follow along with us. Thank you.